Let's get started. So let's do what we always do, and let's start with our big toes together, our heels apart, tennis ball width apart on the heels, rotating those femurs in, pushing down through the heels, and elevating that rib cage. We'll talk about that more in a second, but really expanding the rib cage. Let's go ahead and touch the back of our ribs here if we can. As you're breathing, you should be able to feel the back of the ribs breathe too. Move, they should be moving as you expand your breath. So I'm taking big breaths and making lots of noise. And then when I breathe out, I'm holding my rib cage up, pulling the belly away from the waistband here, getting really skinny, keeping that rib cage elevated and expanded. So that's the position we want to be in. We've got our chin tucked in and shoulders back and down. We're in this nice long wing position. Breathing. And just to begin with, all we're going to do is we're going to rotate our shoulders. So we're going to, what we call unscrewing the shoulders. So let's rotate the shoulder and hands in, and then rotate them out and pull the shoulders back and down. Rotate them in, rotate them back out, rotate them in, rotate them back out, and hold there. Push down through the heels, rotating those femurs in, pulling the belly away from the waistband, and then we're going to put the thumbs to the hips, and we're just going to pull up. Again, breathing into the rib cage and holding your rib cage high. Even when you breathe out, keep the rib cage high. And then go ahead and trace back down, but keep the rib cage high, pulling back up. And then flip the pinkies away, up into the air, into the sphere of tension. Good job. Pushing down to the heels, breathing in. And then we're going to come 1 inch forward, and then 1 more inch. And again, when we come 1 inch forward, the rear end comes 1 inch back. So 1 more inch, and your rear end should be sticking out. And then we're going to trace all the way down to the ground, and we're going to hover, not touching the ground, but reaching out, bending our knees. Again, I'm going to go sideways here just so you can see I got my knees bent. I'm reaching out. Now I'm going to raise my right toes up and down, left toes up and down right, down left, down right, down left. 3 more on your own, stretching on that side all the way up to the shoulder, the side you're raising your toes. And that's true for all the times we're raising our toes throughout this foundation training class. So that's just something we do. So let's go ahead and come all the way back up to the top. Breathing. Elevating the rib cage. And relaxing. So just a couple of reminders. One is that if you can, you have it using your laptop, just with a nice, just one HDMI cord you can hook up to your TV screen and sync it up there. I've found that doing virtual classes online and looking at this big screen can makes it more like I'm right in the class. So just a suggestion for people that have something like this available. The other thing is the importance of keeping, elevating the rib cage makes room for these visceral organs. What I found out through my own, had to go to the doctor, physical therapy, figure out, but your organs are all attached to something, right? There's something that keeps them in place. And sometimes it can be a rib, a part of your vertebrae, for your back structure. So if we don't have room for these, and we have gravity working us all day. It's pretty soon that space gets smaller and we start getting pains as tension pulls on the organ, which pulls on a rib or vertebrae or something, and we start feeling that. So again, so elevating the rib cage is really important. So let's go ahead and do that again. I'm going to turn sideways here, and I'm going to pull up and then come up, and then I'm going to go ahead and bring my hands in front of me, and I'm going to bring my left foot back. And again, here, I'm going to have 50% of my weight, 80% of my weight in my front foot. So in that right foot, I've got 80% of my weight, and I'm going to do some counterbalancing here. So hips come forward, hips go back, hips go forward, hips go back, hips go forward, hips go back, and hold. And then we're going to go ahead and rotate to the right and pull our right hip back. And the shoulders and hips should move together. So coming back forward, pulling the right hip back again, rotating the shoulders and hips together, and come back forward. And then one more time, pulling it back, and then coming back forward. Feet together. Come back up to the top. And then I want your hands in front again, putting the right foot back, 80% of the weight in that left foot, driving the left metatarsal into the ground. And again, here we go. We're going to some counterbalancing. 80% of the weight remains in the left foot, no matter where your hand position is. So your hips have to adjust a little bit to make sure that 80% of the weight is in that foot. So that's why the hip comes back, hips come forward, the hips come back. And then I'm going to go ahead and raise my hands. One more tension in the back. Hands come forward. Now I'm going to pull that left hip back, and my hands come to the left too. Shoulders and hips move together. So coming back forward, and then coming back, pulling the hip back again. Hip comes forward, left hip comes back, left hip goes forward. Bring the hands together and relax. All right, good job. All right, so we're just going to get a little bit more warmed up here. Usually after we do the next exercise, everyone's pretty much in a warmed up state. And so let's get turned sideways. Well, you don't have to turn sideways. But if you want to face me, that's fine. But I'm sideways so you can see me. And so, because I want to make sure you see the posture, and I'll point it out when we get there. So feet 3 to 3.5 feet apart. The outside edges of our feet are straight ahead, or pointing in a little bit. So we're a little bit pigeon-toed again. Our chin's backing in. Our shoulders are backing down. We're in this long wing position, and we're going to go ahead and come in, bend our knees, rotating our femurs in. This natural curve of the spine. Hopefully the back of our neck is nice and straight. Our head comes down since we're bending forward. Our eyes go down a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and come back up. And then come back forward, down again. And then we're just going to do some counterbalancing here. So femurs rotate out, femurs rotate in, femurs rotate out, femurs rotate in, femurs rotate out, rotate in. So we're stretching the IT band and we're letting it play up. Stretch the IT band, let it play up. Stretch the IT band, let it play up. Stretch it one more time and hold. Hands come up. Hands come down and come back to our starting position. So good job. Let's keep the feet in the same place. come into our half wing position. This time with straight legs, we're going to rotate those femurs in, the rear comes back, and the rear comes forward. Rotate the femurs in, rotate them out, pulling the hands back. While you're in this motion, I'm going to do 4 more. Each knee, san, chi, and let's call that good. All right, so let's go ahead and get back into this long wing position. And we're going to go back to bending our knees. We're going to do a forward fold and windmill and gorilla lifts. So that'll get us nice and warmed up. So here we go. So let's start out. And when we do the gorilla lifts and raise our toes, make sure you stretch on the side that you're raising your toes or raising your hand. Make sure you stretch on that side. Stay long. Do not collapse. That's the worst thing you can do is collapse. So here we go. So let's go ahead and come down. Have that nice natural curve of the spine. Check your posture. We're going to go ahead and raise our hands. This is important where we elevate the rib cage. This is where a tug of war, your rear end and your hands, tip of your fingers should be pulling away from each other. And then we're going to go ahead and float all the way down to the ground, but not touch the ground, just reach. You can see my rear is way back, weights in my heels. I'm not touching the ground, but as I stretch a little bit more of that glute and hamstring, I just keep reaching out. And then I'm going to go right toes up and down left, down right, down left, down right, down left. 3 more on your own. Stretching on the side that you're raising your toes on. Outside edge of our feet, inside edges, outside. Come back, flatten out the back. We're going to take our left thumb, put in our right palm, and we're going to trace up, hold, and trace back down. Right thumb and the left palm tracing up, pulling the shoulders apart, eyes are down, and trace back down. Left thumb and the right palm tracing, and hand comes all the way up and tracing back down. Right thumb and the left palm tracing, pulling the shoulders apart, hand comes all the way up and tracing back down. Finally, we bring our heels in. Set our rear end, shoulders above your rear end, hands facing out, palms facing out. Raise the right hand, stretch on that side, and down. Left side, 1001, and down. Right side, 1001, 1002, and down. Left side, 1001, 1002, and down. Right side, 1001, 1002, 1003, and down. Left, 1001, 1002, 1003, and down. And then go ahead and heels back out, long way position, and a safe entry back up. All right. Good job, you guys. You know, usually that warms me up, so I'm going to take off a layer and set that off to the side. Hope you guys are all doing awesome. So I was inspired by someone that had an unfortunate occurrence on the side of the road the other day. I was riding my bike, and there's 3 people walking, and unfortunately someone fell to the ground. And I'm not sure if it's, anyway, it has, I attribute it to balance. So sometimes a lack of balance, you know, leads us into calamities unfortunate things. So if we work on our balance, then we may not fall and that type of thing, or we trip, we may catch ourselves. So we are going to work on surfing. So we're going to work on balance that will, having a board sit on the water, you have to have pretty good balance to make all that happen. So if we can get good at this, we can certainly be pretty good at keeping balanced on land. So let's go ahead and trying to figure out which way to turn. I'll turn this way, and let's go ahead and get our feet widened out. And I'm going to have my hands in this long wing position, and I'm going to face you actually. So now my feet are wide. I've got my shoulders back and down, and I'm going to go ahead and come to a nice founder, and then I'm going to actually pull my hands back, and then I'm going to push my hands forward, and my rear comes back. And then I'm going to bring my hands back, and then I push out, and my rear comes back forward. And let's just do this a couple more times. And breathe, and push out through the heels, and relax. All right. So next is you guys maybe haven't done this for a while, even our veterans, but here we go. So I'll walk you to this. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and squat. We're going to bring our hands in. We're going to put our right hand against the left knee, and we're going to put my left hand against the right shoulder, and then I'm going to rotate that elbow and arm. We're going to look to the right. Maybe looks opposite to you in the screen, but I'm just talking through this. So I'm just stretching on this side, keep pushing against the knee so it keeps anchored there. Keep pushing, and then come back, centered. Let's push our hands out, push our hands in, push our hands out, push our hands in, and let's go ahead and stand up. All right. So let's go back and do the surf squat again here. So here we go. So we're gonna hands in. We're gonna go ahead and come down, push out, push in, push out, push in, push in. And each time your rear end is sticking out, coming back in, sticking out, and hold. And this time I'm going to put my left hand on my right leg, and then right hand on my left shoulder, and I'm going to rotate that elbow, this elbow here, and get stretch on this side as I anchor that right knee, and I look to the left, and I just stretch, create nice stability, and I rotate back in, hands come back together, hands go out, hands go in, rear end goes out, rear end comes in, rear end goes out, rear end goes in, and go ahead and stand. All right, good job, you guys. So this time we're gonna do that a little bit faster. We're gonna do a left side and right side of that surf squat again. So this is gonna go a little bit quicker. So you guys know what to do now. So here we go. So let's go ahead and come down and put our hands out, hands in, hands out, hands in. Right hand comes to the left knee, right shoulder rotates, pushes the shoulder, the elbow comes down, back and down, eyes to the right, anchoring that left knee with the hand, stretching that left side, and then come back up, push down, out, push in, push out, push in. Left hand comes to the right knee, right shoulder to the right shoulder, left shoulder, and rotate, stretching along that side, looking to the left, anchoring the right knee, stretching that side, just rotating, breathing. And then go ahead and rotate back in, push out, push in, push out, push in, push out, and stand back up. All right. Good job, you guys. All right. That's part A of the surfing. We're going to go to part B now. So let's go ahead and we'll start with our toes together. I'm going to go sideways here just so you can see me. So we're going to go ahead and trace up, come up to sphere of tension. Our hand comes in front of us. We're going to take our, we're going to bring our left leg back here, and we're going to bring our hands in front of us, up above our head. And this time, we're going to spiral. We're going to rotate our shoulders and hips to the right. So over the top of that right knee, we're spiraling in that direction. And then we're going to come back centered. And then we're going to bring our hands down. And then we're going to bring our hands back up again. And we're going to spiral one more time, back to the right. Lengthen as you spiral. Don't collapse down. And then go ahead and come back up to the center up. Bring our hands forward. Here we go, left thumb in the right palm. We're going to trace and pull the left hip back as the hand comes back. And we're going to come back forward. Trace again. The hand and the hip move together. Shoulder, hand, and hip move together. You should feel that. This time we're going to go ahead and hold here. And we're going to come all the way open. And with a straight arm, short, slow return. Trace, open, slow arm return with the hip. Trace, open, straight arm return with the hip. Bring our feet together, hands up, and trace back down. All right, good job, everyone. I feel like you're doing a great job there. So let's, we need to do the other side here. So let's go ahead and trace back up, pulling the elbows higher than the wrists. Pinkies come up to sphere of tension. Breathing. Hands come forward. Hands go back up. We're going to bring the right foot back this time. 50-50 in our feet. The heel is halfway off the ground. It's not all the way up. It's not on the ground. About halfway. 50-50 here. We're going to go ahead and rotate the hips to the left, spiraling. So now I'm going to actually be able to see you in the video. And reaching and extending, getting longer, and then coming back forward. Hands come together, down for the chest. Hands come back up. And let's spiral again. Pull the left hip back. Pull, keep spiraling. A little bit more. Get longer. Get taller. Go ahead and spiral back. Hands come back down. Here we go. This time, right thumb in the left palm. We're going to pull the finger, the thumb, and the hip back together, and then bring them back forward. Bring the hip and thumb together. Oops. And then back forward. Pull. Back forward. Pull. Let's hold here. All the way extension. Straight arm return. Trace. Extend. Straight arm return. Trace. Extension. Straight arm return. One more time. Trace. Extension. One arm return. All right. Good job, everyone. All right, hopefully that's warmed you up. Hopefully that's using the core pretty well. All right, so we are going to do some what we call Tabatas, and I'm going to put this on a little timer here. But first, we got to know what we're doing here. So we are going to get down on the ground here. Hopefully, you can see me on the ground. We're going to get down on the ground, and first we have to learn how to do these things. So we're going to do some prone decompressions. Prone decompression. So from the side, I'm going to bring my hands out. I've got my feet, ankles together. I've got my feet dorsiflex. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to stretch the back side of my body. So I'm just trying to get my head as far away from my feet as possible, getting longer. Because I lift my head a little bit, it tensions up the front side of my body, allowing the back side of my body to elongate, and then go ahead and rest. So this is active. So let's go to the next one, which is going to be 8-point plank. 8-point plank. So I'm going to take my elbows, and my elbows are right underneath my shoulders. My feet are slightly apart, and my hands are flat on the ground. I'm going to pull my head away from the ground, and then when I get to the point where I can't pull my head away from the ground anymore, I'm actually going to push down through my elbows, and pretty soon my back starts raising off the ground. My hips even start raising the ground. I'm articulating my back one at a time. I'm going to hold here, pulling my right elbow to my left knee, my left to my elbow to my right knee, making an X, bringing everything to the center. And then I'm going to articulate my back down and relax. All right, so you guys know what to do now. Hopefully everyone can see that. So let's start again. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 30 seconds of each, and we're going to do these multiple times here. So 30 seconds and go. So here, prone decompression, reaching out, head straight, feet are together, rotating those femurs in, breathing, getting long, 10 more seconds, staying elevated in the rib cage, and relax. Back to 8-point plank, feet come apart. I start pulling my face away from the ground so it won't go anymore. Start pushing with my elbows down to the ground, articulating my back up one vertebrae at a time. Holding here, right elbow to the left knee, left elbow to the right knee. Pulling it all into center, and then slowly articulating back down. And back to prone decompression, reaching. Feet are together, rotating the femurs in, reaching. Let's grab the ground. Reach just a little bit further. Pulling your head away, face away from the ground, creating tension, stretching the back side of your body. And then come back to 8-point plank. Elbows come in, knees go apart a little bit, pulling my face away from the ground. Keep doing that until pretty soon I need to start pushing with my elbows, my back, my hips come off the ground, articulating one vertebrae at a time, and then tracing back, down, and relaxing. And that's actually all we're going to do with that. Turn off my timer, And we can go ahead and get back up because we have some fun to do here. Let's go ahead and come to the side of our room here. I think you can all see me still. And we're going to work on some of our putting it all together. Some of all those things of anchoring, balance, and as we move across the room, getting ready to deal with the rest of our day and the rest of our weekend. So here we go. We are going to go ahead and we're going to toe flickers. So the only thing I caution is make sure your feet go back and forth. Adjust your hip angle to make sure your feet are going straight back and forth. You're not making any circles and you're landing on your toes. So here we go. Going across the room. We're going to go across here. Turn around and go back the other way. And relax. Good job. So here we go. Our foundation training stretches. So the flat back, natural curve of the spine here, feet, toes pointing out, and let the IT band play, let your legs play back up. So straight back and come back up. Take a step forward, toes out, play back up, toes in, toes out, toes in, toes out. Let's go back the other way. Toes out, toes in, toes out, toes in, toes out, and toes in. All right, good job. All right, so we're just going to start taking a little bit more balance here. We're going to go ahead and go to knee grabs. So again, keeping the rib cage centered on the hips. The hips may have to play with that angle to make sure you're going in a nice straight line. So go ahead and grab your knee, get up on your toe, and get over the top of it. Grab your another knee, get over the top of it. Look for a natural curve in the spine, chin's back up and in. Looking forward. When you get to the end, turn around, go back the other way. And relax. All right, here we go. Back to butt kickers. Again, getting up on your toe if you can. Then go ahead and grab that ankle or foot, and then raise the hand if you can. Stretching on that side. Coming right over the top. And back the other way. All right, good job, you guys. Here we go. We're going to go to get to the side here, and we're just going to put our hands on our hips, and we're just going to go ahead and tick-tock our way across the room. Feet never come together. And then go back the other way. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. All right. Staying in our lateral motion here. We're going over the hurdle, and then we're going to get underneath the hurdle. Hopefully hinging at the hips, getting the head nice and low to the ground if you can. And then when you get to one side, make sure you go back the other way. All right, good job. So staying with our concept of lateral, let's have our hands on our hips, feet really pretty wide, lean our hips to the right, lean the hips to the left, and hop, 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 hop. Then go back the other way, and the hips to the left, lean to the right, and hop, 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 hop. All right, good job. Time check here. All right, so here we go. We're going to work on some of our last parts here. We're going to work on some lunging with our right elbow straight. And then just go ahead, keep nice and long here. Keep the rib cage center on your hips, and then go ahead and lunge across the room, landing with a bent knee. And when you get to stay with the right arm straight up, landing with the bent knee, trusting that the foot will be below you. All right, left arm, got to keep even here, lunging. And all right, got an opportunity to do a couple others. So let's go ahead and do some grave diggers. We didn't do these last time, but let's go ahead and our imaginary ball. And let's go ahead and bring the left hand knee up. And let's take a step and straighten that leg and dig and reach that ball up and come up. And then bring the ball down and dig and come up, bring the ball down and dig, come up, bring the ball down and dig. Let's go back the other way, dig. So we should be getting a nice stretch in that forward leg, nice glute stretch. Some balance work. All right, good job. And then our last but not least, our challenge move here. So let's go ahead and get that left knee up again. Bring our ball up above. Straight arms over the top of the leg, back up, and then going down this time. And balancing one piece up over the top of the leg and down. Back up over the top of the leg and then down. Over the top of the leg and down. Over the top of the leg and down. Turn around, finish this off, and down. That's my balance there. And then down. Down. and finish. All right, good job. Let's go ahead and come center up again. Finish off this class. Wanted to thank you all for coming. You guys are doing a great job. I'll unmute, you can unmute after the class here. If you have any questions, you can ask me. I'll stick around for 5 or 10 minutes. Pushing down, toes together, heels apart, tennis ball width, rotating those femurs in, getting tall, elevating the rib cage, expanding into all parts of the ribs, raising, tracing up, tracing back down, tracing back up, flipping the pinkies up, all the way up to sphere tension. Breathing, pulling the belly away from the waistband, pushing down through the heels, 1 inch forward, 1 inch back, tracing back down, and relaxing. All right, good job, everyone. Thanks for coming.